Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another YouTube video. In this one, I wanted to talk about how to set goals and actually consistently achieve them. And the reason I'm actually not using my actual camera here is because it is currently uploading a video. So I am waiting on it to finish that. And I figured, you know what? I'm not gonna wait. I'm just gonna record this because this is very top of mind for me right now because I'm setting some big goals. In June, I want to do $200,000 in June of 2021, and it's a decent goal. I mean, it's double what our record has been before, and it's just fun to aim at. And it's not just a goal, but I see it as already being done. I mean, pretty much everything that I have to do, I know what I have to do, and I'm just gonna do it, right? It's pretty much that simple. So and I want to talk about that psychology. I want to talk about the psychology of setting goals and breaking them down into chunks and then just doing it. So for example, let me talk about the June goal of $200,000 in a month, right? So you look at, I have, say, June 200,000, that's like the goal. But then I have a bunch of stuff that like reverse engineers like what I actually have to do in order to get there, right? So, that's 36 high-level systems clients, just about, right? And as well as that, if I throw in my first $20,000 sale, which is supposed to come in tomorrow, which is June 1st, then it'll easily happen. All right, so about a client a day, or every like 1.1 clients a day, right? And some days we'll get like 2 or 3 in a day, so that's more than likely going to happen. And that's if ads are running, content's going out, people are getting valued, value propped, and we're adding value to people, and they get excited about working with us. So it's like I can reverse engineer this goal. So what you want to do with goals, and I kind of want to talk specifically about business goals, but you can apply this framework to other goals as well. Take the goal in mind and ask a very simple question. What are the roadblocks standing between me and doing it? And then answer, come up with your list, and then ask, what should I implement to get rid of these roadblocks? It's that simple. And then that's where you get to be creative. And that's where, having mentorships and guidance is helpful, because at that point it's very clear what you need to do next. Like, I just threw $30,000 at another mastermind at the end of last month, and that's, giving me a lot of clarity. So because of that, I'm just taking that and I'm pouring it into my business just immediately, just gonna go harder. So you wanna start with you in mind, ask what are the roadblocks? And then another mindset to have is you wanna start as if you've already achieved the goal. So make decisions as if you've already achieved the goal. So there's really 2 ways of thinking about goals. Thinking about goals, and there's thinking from your goals. And thinking from your goals kind of allows you to act as if they've already been done, which then allows you to take actions as if it's already done and already in place, which then, kind of makes the goal happen, right? So like I've got this long-term goal of running an 8-figure company, so I want to do $10 million a year, right? And so thinking from that goal, I have to be a leader. I have to be I have to show up every single day, like no excuses, absolutely none. I have to, understand operations and people and systems. And I have to have a product or sort of a conglomerate of products that work well together, that grow. And so you can almost think from the goal and like come back to the source of it, right? And then just change where you are now. So you think from your goal, you come back to where you are now, and you ask, what do I have to change about right now to make this goal more of a reality? So that's how to set and achieve big goals. Like, honestly, it's literally that simple. And I'll get into the next idea, which is chunking. So if you've got a big goal, like let's say you have the goal of like getting to $1 million a year, if you're a beginner, right? Well, it's like, okay, first thing you need to do is have an offer. So you need to go out there, get an offer done. So that's the first chunk. Build an offer that you could sell. Okay, first one. Second one, marketing. So you need to set that up. You can chunk marketing into a few things. Like maybe put out your first 30 pieces of content, and have at least 100 messenger conversations with people, and then like get at least 10 calls. That's like the first step for marketing. First step for offer could be like, set up a Teachable account, or it could be like, read a couple books on how to be a good coach, or, get a team member in place that can help fulfill, right? And then get a contract. So you could take, the $1 million a year goal starts to just almost like summarize down into a set of actions you have to take, versus it being this large, immeasurable, bigger than life sort of a thing, right? So you can take this big goal and just chunk down to, what you got to do pretty much this week. So that's how to achieve big goals. Like, it is literally that simple. Like, I think what people do is they have big goals, but, vision is goals with action items attached to them. So like if you have the goal of getting your first client, Well, you got to identify what are the bottlenecks between right now and then. So maybe it's like sales, or maybe it's like mindset, or maybe it's like good prospecting, right? And you might not even really know what the bottlenecks are. So that's where you get to get, you know, creative and have fun, or you can invest into a mentor. So you can invest into a mentor, or you can get creative and just throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks, right? So yeah, that's what I've done. I mean, you know, every time I get stuck in my business, often I don't even really know what I don't know. And so that's when I throw some more money at another person. So like I got capped now at about 80 to 100,000 a month. I'm like, all right, I want to get to like 200 to 300. So I throw this money at this mentor, and they're like, all right, here's what you got to do. Just do this and this. And I'm like, really? It's that simple? They're like, yeah, it's completely that simple. So here we are, right? So yeah, it's interesting stuff. I got to say, setting and achieving goals, there's an art form to it. It's not just, ooh, that'd be really nice if that could happen. No, this is where I want to be. And I think from that goal, meaning I let that goal tell me what to do by chunking it into pieces. So another goal, let's say you have the goal of like losing or gaining weight. Let's say gaining weight, because that's my situation. So I want to gain weight. So I weigh like 130 pounds. I'm like 5'8". So I'm like a pretty small guy, right? I'd like to have some more weight on me. I'd like to have more muscle weight, everything like that. So what I've done is like, I'll just show you. I've turned that goal into chunks. So I know how many calories I need to eat each day in order to reach a certain goal weight, so that by mid-August or so, I should weigh about 140. So what I've done is I've just filled my fridge with these pre-made meals that all have like a set amount of calories in them, right? So you got, what is this, 520 calories. So I need to eat about 25 to 2,800 calories a day, depending on how much I burn, if I'm doing cardio that day or not, in order to then reach my goal weight. So I've got this goal weight, and then I chunk it down into daily activities. And then it was like, all right, how do I get these meals? How do I eat like 2,500 to 2,800 calories a day? Well, okay, so then it's like, you know, I should start my breakfast with, you know, I've got these 3 meals that I'll cycle. And then my lunch is these 3 meals that I cycle. And then my dinner is these 3 meals that I cycle. And then at that point, I can eat whatever the frick I want, you know, and I can even eat, like, arguably I can even eat some unhealthy stuff like, you know, like ice cream or whatever here and there, just because I'm trying to put on weight, right? And my goal ultimately is to have energy, but I'd also like to put on weight, and I'm willing to sacrifice energy for that. So you can like reverse engineer what you want to do, and then just take the daily action items to do it. So it's very simple. So like this is also where knowing the numbers of your business is so important. So if you are setting business goals, you have to know the numbers of your business to then reverse engineer what you want to do with the goal, and then turn it into daily action items. So this is what we do inside of High Level Systems for our clients, right? Like none of our clients go, you know, their first week without knowing what it costs on paper, whether in the form of revenue, like, you know, money, or in the form of time, or in the form of views or mentions or whatever, to get a consult call with the client that they could then bring into their offer or their program or whatever it is that we've built with you, right? So you have to know that number. Just like I know if I eat 2,500 calories a day, which doesn't sound like a lot to some people, but it's a lot when you're like, you know, 5'8" and you weigh 30 pounds, okay? 2,500 calories a day, I know that over, you know, so-and-so months of doing so, I've got like a spreadsheet where I track all of it, that I will weigh, you know, 140 pounds. It's like literally that simple, right? So a lot of the problem with people that set goals and then don't achieve them, it's not that they set goals bad or they aimed too high even. I believe you can aim as high as you want to aim, as long as you can chunk it down, right? And if you can chunk it down, you can literally go as far as you want. So think from your goals. Don't think about your goals. Don't get obsessed with just think from them, and then just do the daily activities that you've reverse engineered. And this is where investing in mentorships is super important. This is where getting help, because often you don't know what's standing between where you are and where you want to get. That's often the problem. That's been the problem for me. I wouldn't even have thought, like, these guys that I invested into, they're like, hey, you know, to get to $300,000 a month, like with your business, because I've helped other people get to $300,000 a month with their business, right? So we've got clients that have even reached that level. And it's very clear. It's like ads team, growing their social media platforms, putting a sales team in place, you know, delivery operations for their offer so that it scales well. These sorts of things are very clear to me. But they said for my business specifically, there was things that they tweaked that I would have never even thought. So that's the value of mentorships and getting help, right? So if you really want to set and achieve your goals, get help. get help. And that's why we do what we do at High Level. You can always book your call using the link in the description with myself directly or one of our head coaches to speak with them about the program, see if it's a good fit, and we'll only bring on people that are a good fit. In the past week or so, we've had some incredible wins. We had one of our clients, Valentina, who joined us from literal zero, never made a sale before, to having a $10,000 week. So she more than made up for the cost of the program and did it within like 30 days of joining. Then we've got Dylan Gary, who's one of our clients, and he just sold a client while he was on the beach. It's Memorial Day weekend right now. It's the Monday of Memorial Day while I'm recording this. So we've got tons of wins, and these are people that didn't know what they didn't know, so they decided to get some help. And that's what we do in our program and in our community. So, you know, and it sounds like a really fancy plug, but legitimately, if you want to set and achieve goals, the best thing you can do is surround yourself with people who have achieved those goals, okay? That's what I do, and I hope to model you in that way, or model for you in that way. And I would hope that you would do the same thing. If you're serious about growing your business, that you would actually get help. So that being said, my last piece of advice for setting and achieving goals is set goals that mathematically make sense on paper for what you're capable of doing every single day. So if you're setting a goal of like, I want to get to $1 million a month, and you haven't even made your first sale yet, like, hold up, start with where you are now. So what I like to do is, if you're just getting started and you don't have any momentum, what you should aim to do is aim to achieve proof of concept. So aim to achieve proof of concept, which means, you know, that's where we could come in and definitely help. We can help you build an offer, get marketing in place, get you good at sales, all these things, and get your first couple sales in place. And you got proof of concept, you got some money in the bank. Then you can start thinking about monthly revenue goals, like $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 a month, right? That's when it gets really reasonable to do that. But I think a lot of people, they set goals and then they have no vision attached to the goals, meaning they don't have action items, and then they don't really know why they want to achieve the goal either. So it really, life and business is a game of clarity. Like, what do you want? How soon do you want it? How are you going to get there? What are you going to do every day to do it? And, you know, what's the motivation? Why do you even care to do it? So once you're clear on those things, everything else lines up. Everything else lines up. So your goal shouldn't just be an isolated variable of how much money you want to make. It should be why you want to do it and what you plan to do when you get there, right? So, I mean, I wanted to get to 100 a month so that I could break the goal so that I can then grow, which is what I'm doing right now. So, you know, a year ago I had that goal in mind, so I broke it, now I'm here. Very simple how it works. So, yeah, hopefully this is valuable for you. Hopefully you enjoyed. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.